Cut out that burp, please. His name is Miles Morales, and his name is Miles Morales, and for the last 5 years or so, he's been one of the most popular characters in all of fiction. But I'm not sure you actually know the rest. Probably surprised a lot of you to know that when Miles actually got his first feature film, he wasn't even 10 years old as a character. And this all really started back in the early 2010s when Donald Glover was one of the last people picked in the casting for Peter Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man films. Obviously, we know who got the role, Andrew Garfield, but this sparked a lot of fan outcry when they heard that he was one of the last people, because nobody wants to have one of their favorite characters just be race swapped for no apparent reason. The people that they grew up with, they find that really annoying, as we've seen in recent times with changing of people's races in Velma, from Velma being changed to Indian, Daphne to Asian, and Shaggy to Black for no apparent reason, and also in The Little Mermaid when they changed a lot of the characters' races needlessly. So Donald Glover was kicked out. And to kind of subsidize this, in the Ultimate Comics run, which is an alternate kind of timeline thing in the Marvel Universe, Peter Parker was going to die. So writer Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pichelli, correct me if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, I don't know, they introduced Miles Morales into the Ultimate Comics to take Spider-Man's place. This was already kind of planned out that Peter was going to die, so we needed a replacement, and this idea happened to kind of come about at the right time. Miles was introduced, and Miles obviously is an Afro-Latino teenager who lives in Brooklyn, New York. And this was a groundbreaking moment in comics, as Miles became one of the few prominent black characters to don the iconic Spider-Man outfit. Miles' creation was a crucial step towards diversifying the superhero landscape, and unlike a lot of diversity which feels forced and just needless and just nothing, Miles felt like a real character, and which allowed readers to actually enjoy him on the page and not feel like they were just being pandered to. And this only would go up from here when, as soon as a few years later, he would get his first TV debut appearance, to my knowledge. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was in the Ultimate Spider-Man, where they put Miles in the show as Kid Arachnid. Yes, because the studio thought it would be too confusing to have two characters named Spider-Man, but they're from different universes and one of them is black, so they changed his name from Spider-Man to Kid Arachnid. It's whatever, it's the whole thing. In that show, Donald Glover actually got to voice Miles Morales, so in a way he did get his dream of playing Spider-Man, but little after that did Miles get his very own feature film and silver screen debut in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in 2018. As everybody knows, this film was an absolute game changer, not just for superhero media, but for animation in general, with beautiful, stunning animation and a great story with the introduction of a very new popular character. Miles was only 7 years old at this point when this movie was released. Can you believe that? With an African-American mother and African-American father, right, and Puerto Rican mother, added an extra layer of just cultural richness to Miles. Made him feel like more of a character, not just something, again, audiences don't like being pandered to. And this is what it made him feel like, more of just a genuine character. And Spider-Verse went on to be critically acclaimed and won a bunch of Academy Awards and showcased the importance of representation in media, not just representation, but representation done right. And that is what Miles is. Later that year, Miles would actually, or earlier that year, I don't remember when the game came out, but Spider-Man PS4 also came out that year, and Miles had a role in that game. A very small role, but a role nonetheless. Showed up in the game, and this was a year that a lot of people around the world got introduced to Spider-Man in the form of Miles Morales, not only if you were a gamer, but if you were in the movies too. Everybody knew Miles Morales after this year, and very shortly after, 2 years after in fact, Miles would get his own game in the form of Marvel's Spider-Man and Miles Morales, also made by Insomniac Games, people who made Spider-Man PS4, not just 2 years prior. Now, this was a shorter game, still a fantastic game, and people loved it, myself included. It was amazing, and it had a great original story and just fun combat that incorporated Miles' own unique power set as Spider-Man, and allowed gamers to really just step into Miles and experience his own heroic journey firsthand. The game showcased not only Miles' incredible Spider-Man abilities, but also explored his personal life, friendships, and challenges. He faces a teenager living up to the legacy of his predecessor, Peter Parker. The emotional storytelling further solidified Miles' popularity, making him a fan favorite among gamers. And trust me, it was a great game. If you haven't played it, it was a great game. I recommend it a lot. Miles Morales' impact on the Black and Afro-Latino community can really not be overstated. His character has broken down barriers and shattered stereotypes, providing a new generation of readers, moviegoers, and gamers with a role model they can relate to on a personal level. Again, and even people who don't relate to the culture of Miles Morales relate to the character because he's not just a pander, as I keep saying. He is a real character. Hollywood, please learn from this. Quit just doing the Velma thing. God, never do that again. But beyond just the cultural significance and the impact, Miles Morales stands out as a truly just a remarkable character. Miles is a relatable and well-developed character. He's not simply a carbon copy of Peter Parker. He's not just the Black Spider-Man. He's his own character. Miles' journey is one of self-discovery, and he navigates the challenges of being a superhero, and he also faces the everyday trials of adolescence, friendships, and family. Again, all the Spider-Man things that you come to know with Spider-Man but just from a different taste and a different character that makes everything seem really fresh and interesting. Miles represents the power of representation itself. Representation done right. By existing and succeeding in the world of superheroes, he breaks down barriers and opens doors for others. He shows that heroes can come in all shapes and sizes and backgrounds, and reinforcing the idea that anybody can be a hero. Isn't that the point of Into Spider-Verse? Anyone can wear the mask. You can wear the mask. The Hollywood needs to learn from why they like Miles, because he's not just the Black Spider-Man. I know I keep saying that, it's like he's not just Black Spider-Man, but he's not just Black Spider-Man. He's Miles Morales. And that's why people like him. He's his own character. And we want to see him go on adventures. We're invested in him, and he's just the character that happens to be Black. And Miles is popular because his story is great, and that can really be attributed to the incredible talent of the writers and the artists and the actors and developers who have brought him to life as a character and who have brought him to the world. It's a Miles surgence. It's the first time in history that I know of that a character has been created this recently, that he's gotten this much resurgence and has been put into the zeitgeist of pop culture just as quickly as Miles Morales has been. First time something spectacular like this from happened. This is a really important thing that needs to be learned from the creative teams behind the comics, movies, and games have carefully crafted this story, ensuring authenticity that captures the hearts of audiences, the three things that I mentioned earlier, the readers, the watchers, and the gamers, or whatever I said. Those people, those are the ones. We love Miles Morales. But that's it for the end of this video. If you liked it, do all the YouTube things and consider subscribing, or if you don't, dislike it or whatever. I don't really care. But if you enjoyed it, that's also pretty cool. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing more stuff, probably talking about more Miles Morales and that's anime stuff. So, yeah, and until next time, end of video.